1 year ago, a Toronto man launched a business that virtually nobody was asking for, a communist coffee shop. It was to be called The Anarchist, and unlike Outback, they meant it when they said there'd be no rules.
The Anarchist is a worker-owned, anti-capitalist, anti-colonial cafe, shop, and community space. Gabriel opened the space after leaving Vancouver due to its unwelcoming sense of classism. Though he never felt comfortable working in a coffee shop in BC, he knew if he were to have one of his own, it would have to adopt the values that occupy such a huge part of his life. A place devoted to radical leftist politics, revolution, ending capitalism, improving the world's economic system that benefits everyone and not just elites, and most importantly, sparking conversations that will help implement these ideas.
Customers were invited to pay whatever they thought was fair that they could afford for a cup of coffee, and they could even browse some commie merch while they sipped their drink, which, interestingly enough, did have a price tag. It was to be a place where anybody could come and hang out and use the bathroom, whether or not they were purchasing coffee. I mean, if that doesn't sound like utopia, I don't know what is. A coffee shop free from the confines of peacefully buying and trading under capitalism. But alas, the business was not long for the world. It folded less than a year after it opened. And frankly, the statement that this guy put out regarding his business's failure is just, it's priceless. It reads, "The Anarchist has been a huge success in every way I hoped." I'm going to need him to define what success and what ways he hoped what. He says that it gave him so much inspiration and an education that he plans to put to use in future projects. And frankly, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what he does next. But the next paragraph in this statement is probably one of the best sentences I've ever read. Prepare yourselves. He says, "Unfortunately, the lack of generational wealth and seed capital from ethically bankrupt sources left me unable to weather the quiet winter season or to grow in the ways needed to be sustainable longer term." Find me a better sentence than that in the English language. You can't. This is amazing. This is gold. I want to see a reality show where this guy opens a business and his competitors are first generation immigrants who barely speak English and they open a business. And when his inevitably fails and theirs succeeds, I want to see him explain to them that the reason he failed is because of a lack of generational wealth or the ability to get investments from ethically bankrupt sources. Sir, you couldn't get investments because your idea was stupid. And it was always going to fail on the basis of, I don't know, every single law of economics, every single law of basic humanity. They're not ethically bankrupt. They just have common sense. They want to make sure they get their money back. Every time these people try to implement communism, even on the smallest of scales, it adds another brick to the argument against it. It doesn't work. It's childish to think that it ever will. Please stop ruining people's lives with your nonsense. This philosophy has led to the deaths of more people than any other ideology known to man, and it isn't even particularly close. Anybody who's proclaiming to be a communist should be treated like someone saying that they're a Nazi. Take your bullshit and get out of play, society.